I have seen many people who are in their 30s or 40s or even 50 or 60, which is very old, but they are still slaves to their emotions. They always feel that they are forced, that they have to do so many things, that they have to be nice to you, and that you bully them all day long. Wow, it's so depressing. Anyone who is a slave to his emotions will feel so depressed even if he retires, because he always feels that he has to bear humiliation and that he has sacrificed a lot for others. This is actually the first stage of life, which is called emotional effort. In the second stage, the person has figured it out. It's none of my business. This is none of my business. Don't tell me this. I won't listen. You see, he has learned it. He said that I am shirking the responsibility. This responsibility has nothing to do with me. I can do whatever I want. No one has anything to do with me. I just live my own life. This is the second stage of life. You will offend many people. This is called being hateful. The third stage is what Confucius called the doctrine of the mean. You have found the middle place called the master of life. When you can find the master of your life, you will naturally become the master of your emotions, right? When you become the master of your own emotions, you will be willing to help others, whether it is you or the other person who feels emotionally hurt. It's because some of your needs are not met. For example, a husband comes home very late, at 11:30 every night, and he smells of alcohol, right? Then the wife must be very angry. If we use our usual communication method, the wife will ask, "You still know how to come back. Why don't you die outside?" He said, "Yes, why don't I die outside? Why don't I die at home?" So he won't come back in 2 days. So the most important thing you have to do at this time is to find this need, rather than venting your emotions. It feels good to express your emotions, and it makes you feel good. But the problem is that this double-edged sword can also hurt you. Therefore, the structure of nonviolent communication is to first state a fact, saying that your husband came home after 11 o'clock 5 days this week, and that he smelled of alcohol. Just state the facts and don't add more judgments. The second sentence is to express your feelings. Communication is important in a marriage. Sometimes I feel overwhelmed with emotion and I struggle to express myself. I experience deep sadness, heartbreak, and a sense of being lost. I believe it's essential for us to share our feelings with each other. My desire for a happy home is why I'm sharing my feelings. We need to create a welcoming environment where we can enjoy dinner and have meaningful conversations together. This is what a home should feel like. It's important to me because I want to feel connected to you. So, my request is that you come back before 8 o'clock 3 days a week so that we can spend quality time together. I value your opinion. What do you think? I believe open and honest communication will lead to a stronger relationship. By following 4 simple steps of telling facts, feelings, reasons, and making requests, the likelihood of family quarrels can be reduced significantly. These steps are easy to follow, but if not followed, the chances of quarrels may remain high. Why is it sometimes difficult for us to communicate in a peaceful and productive manner? It is because our emotions can be influenced by violent communication. What are the underlying factors that contribute to this problem? One of the main factors is our tendency to make moral judgments. When we observe someone's behavior, we often have a preconceived notion that they are disrespecting us, which can then lead to a defensive or aggressive response. You are an uncultured person. For example, there is an example that I particularly like. When we are driving, there is a relative in our car, right? Our relative took a piece of toilet paper and threw it out of the window, right? At this time, you might feel unhappy and say, "It's inappropriate if you don't do that, right? You can just do it. This is inappropriate, right?" He said that there was no place to throw it. There was no place to throw it in the car. You can understand him. But if you are driving and there is a person in the car in front of you throwing toilet paper out, you would say that the person in the car in front is a scumbag. Why? Because we tend to give moral brands directly to people we are not familiar with and do not understand. And when we encounter some sensitive things with people we are familiar with, we will also make moral judgments. We will think that you never respect me, you never care about me, you always bully me, and you are a person with no manners. You see, these words are the biggest source of violent communication. Once we start to communicate with each other in a moral way, it is definitely violent communication. There is no problem with that. Then the second factor of violent communication is comparison. Well, look at how others do it, and then look at how you do it. Comparisons of why you are not as good as someone else will also cause great harm to the other person's heart. So sometimes you will find that the more you use comparisons to educate your children, the more likely they are to rebel. His mindset is to find him. So this comparison is also a source of violent communication. The third source of violent communication comes from avoiding responsibility. There are a lot of people who like to say, I have to. A lot of terrible things in our real life are caused by having to, right? So when you have the emotion of having to do something, you will feel that hurting others is also something you have to do. I have to hurt you because I have to do it. I heard a mother talk about her experience of raising her child with others. She said that no matter how much the child protested during the years of high school, she had to keep a close eye on him, and she had to keep a close eye on him until he was admitted to college. She could not relax during these years. But in fact, you all know how great the harm to the child was at that time, which made the child fall into immense pain, and then the parents also fell into immense pain. This kind of idea of having to do something will make us more and more violent and more painful. Okay, then the fourth one is to force someone to do something. What does that mean? Threatening that if you don't listen to me, I will do this and that immediately, right? Well, that's fine. You don't care about me. You don't listen to me. I won't care about you. Many of our parents communicate with their children in that way. I won't say anything to you anymore. I won't care about you anymore. Hit or run, right? Running away is a way of threatening. I won't care about you anymore. What a big threat this is to children. So these four ways of communication and expression are the most common sources of violence in our lives.